The flower's dying. It needs water. Good evening, Miss Howe.
I need blood.
Are things better now that Dr. Swansea is back?
The vampire hunters have not come back. I hope this time it's for good.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
My condition cannot be understood by you, mortal. This curse is beyond your science.
Well, until the day science finally admits failure, please accept this little contribution.
Thank you, Doctor. Your efforts are admirable, though laughable.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening.
Evening.
Soldier,
Not really. I don't think...
is the
I don't know. He seems different.
How so?
Last night, someone approached me while I was sleeping. I didn't move. Not a muscle, but he was sniffing my neck. Just like Thelma does.
What happened then?
Left without a word. Gave me the right fucking willies, it did.
Are you sure it was Dr. Swansea?
I recognized his cologne.
Soldier,
I'm fine.
goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
Good evening.
Do you need medical...
I'm afraid.
Not...
Thank you.
How are things, now that Dr. Swansea is back?
I must admit, the situation is better. We still have to deal with the epidemic, but it's good to have someone in charge again.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
How is everything now that Dr. Swansea is back?
The hospital could not keep on like this without an administrator. So things are back to normal, I guess.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Oh, sweet girl.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
I would have been confused if anyone other than you had asked that question, Dr. Reed. But your help is welcomed.
There is no shame in helping each other. We're colleagues, after all.
Many doctors I have known are too cynical to think that way.
How is the situation now that Dr. Swansea is back?
I'm impressed by the man. He was abducted, and now he's back happy as ever, helping the patients all night long. An example to us all.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I will not let you down, Mike.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
How are things now Dr. Swansea is back?
He visited me soon after his return. He asked me if I'd agree to some experimental procedure. I said I'd think about it.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Oh, sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How are things now Dr. Swansea has returned?
Better, I suppose.
I have to go now.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time.
Good
with
evening,
me.
Doc.
How is the situation now Dr. Swansea is back?
I can't say if it's good news or not.
What do you mean?
He used to stay in his office a lot. Now he tends to visit the patients more, but he smiles less.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know?
Despite...
Well, at least you're ready.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
I'm quite...
Thank you for your time. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. Well, thanks, anyway.
How has it been since Dr. Swansea came back?
Rumour says you saved him. I must say I'm impressed.
Do you need any
I'm fine, Doc.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Is everything all right now that Dr. Swansea is back?
The situation is hard, but Dr. Swansea promised me things will get better. He even said he'll take care of us all. And I believe him.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine, as soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Yes.
I have no doubt about it, but you are still ill all the same. Please, take this medicine.
I appreciate your concern, Dr. Reed. To be honest, I just did not take the time to diagnose myself.
How are things now that Dr. Swansea is back?
Dr. Swansea seems changed by what happened to him. Really changed.
Changed how?
I don't know. Happier? No, it's not that. More serene.
Is that a good thing?
Yes. It's like he finally found his true self.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
Hey, Doc.
How's the situation now that Dr. Swansea is back?
As shitty as always. People die, people cry, people disappear. This place is no different than the rest of this miserable city, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
You're lucky to be...
Cox!
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox. Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need
Afraid
your
work.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself. I cannot use garlic, but there may be a substitute in the Pembroke Hospital drug storage.
I'll kill you!
It's elite! See them fancy clothes? This one's a top!
Not a good place for a stroll.
There it is. Insulin. Much more efficient than garlic against blood poisoning and sepsis, and much less dangerous for me. Thank you, Dr. Polescu. Scowled. Voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Jonathan, my dear, I can never thank you enough.
Thank me? For what?
Come now, you know what I mean. I am... well, I'm just like you.
Have you no shame? Must I remind you of your ludicrous actions? Of the innocent men and women who died at your hands?
Shame is for mortals, Jonathan. I know it now, and you should too. We are something else. Something more.
Have you news of Jeffrey McCullum? I'm sure both of you would have quite an interesting discussion after recent events.
He left the hospital without being treated for the severe beating you gave him. We'll meet again soon enough.
Does not the prospect of meeting him as a vampire thrill you? The two old enemies reunited post-mortem.
Maybe we could even share a glass of... wine. I really don't know if he will accept his condition. He has spent his life beheading leeches, you know.
How do you feel since you changed?
Absolutely fine. Did you know I can determine the health of every patient or nurse just by looking at him? Fascinating.
Have you taken a life yet, Edgar?
Don't you think that's a private matter? I would not ask you such an indiscreet question.
Do you feel the hunger?
Yes. It's very peculiar, not like mortal hunger at all. It's like I'm never sated. Fortunately, blood is no rare commodity at Pembroke.
What will you do now that you are immortal?
Experiment, my dear colleague. I have an eternity to make scientific progress. I could be the only scientist able to undertake extreme experiments upon himself.
My God, Edgar. Did you learn nothing from your forays into folly?
I have, I swear. No more experiments on mortals. See? I said mortals. How quickly the mind adapts!
What kind of experiments?
Who knows? Nervous shock, brain damage, pain and recovery. There's almost no limit to what my body can now endure. I could be the next Henry Head.
Will you continue as Pembroke's administrator?
Of course. I can help more than ever. And since I'm already dead, I can't get sick.
Are you not afraid Priwen will find you? Next time, they will do more than abduct and torture you.
I remain a man of peace. If things were to go awry, I would flee rather than slice them up as you would, my friend.
Have you seen Elizabeth? Has she passed this way since you returned?
No. And I'm terrified to see her again. I really am, Jonathan. She could very well tear me to pieces for what I did.
Goodbye, Edgar. I'm certain we'll meet again. Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Doctor.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.